Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Parables Podcast, Episode 2. I am your host, Ejay Cruz. Man, that always feels good to say, man. People who've been following me developing this podcast, a lot of people have been saying, hey, Ejay, you got to get an intro in there. And it's kind of crazy because I get very fired up when I kind of freestyle this intro, man. But anyway, hopefully we get down to that intro. And by the way, for everyone's listening and viewing pleasure, the Parables podcast is now live on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and Google Play. So thank you guys very much for everyone's support. I appreciate it. Now, before I introduce my amazing guest, let me just tell you something about the Parables podcast. This podcast was really developed with the intent to inspire, influence, and empower its audience. We do this by sharing some amazing stories, having a very laid-back conversation, and sharing the stories. I bring on some amazing, impactful guests, and we sit down, and there's just something humbling, something being in the moment about just sitting down, talking to somebody, and sharing their story and everything that's led up to their success and where they are today. So I hope everybody finds value out of this. Without further ado, let's get right to it. My next guest here is Brian Nguyen, amazing guy. I've known him for quite some time. The epitome of a self-made entrepreneur. He is the owner and CEO and founder of Be Nutritious. It is a meal prep company that has expanded to 2 storefronts, and he is just making crazy moves. I hate to take away his full introduction. Brian, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Thanks for coming on. Hope the drive wasn't too crazy.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all.
I love you always. I love seeing you pull up in that beautiful car, man.
Thanks,
it's amazing.
Man. Appreciate it.
So anyway, so Brian, I don't know if you were able to catch the first episode, but and I know I've given you a little details of how we do this, but really we just kind of get to know you. You know what I'm saying? As if like we're just sitting down at a bar, just very laid back, and just everything leading up to your success, man. I know you've been through a lot, and it's just an honor to really share your story.
Thanks, man.
So yeah, man. Dude, let's start off with where you grew up. Well, first off, actually, let's take it back a little bit. So me and Brian, actually, I've known him for quite some time, but we've never been officially like like hung out or like
had. It's been over 10 years.
Yeah, I had like this really like crazy relationship. The car culture scene, we're gonna talk about this, like brought us together, and I may have seen you right in a few events here and there, but there was nothing really where we actually hung out and things like that. But it's crazy because I've been able to see like where you started and where you are now just through like social media, and we've been in contact here and there, and I find this opportunity very great because I feel like I'm still getting to know you, and this is the perfect time for again for this podcast for people to get to know you too. But yeah, so let's start off with first your upbringing. Like where are you from, and how was it like?
Born in Boston, and I was pretty much
did not know that.
Yeah, I was born in Boston. We moved. I was 1 year old. My grandpa passed away, and we moved to Lincoln Heights, which is in LA.
Okay.
From LA, my whole family, everybody, meaning all my parents' siblings, everybody, we all moved to El Monte.
Mm-hmm.
El Monte is about 20 minutes from downtown LA.
Mm-hmm.
And I pretty much grew up there. El Monte, it wasn't the best growing up. It's up and coming. It's one of those cities. Majority, it was a Hispanic. There's more Hispanics in the area. Now Asians are kind of slowly coming in.
Mm-hmm.
But I grew up. My parents, we grew up on welfare.
Okay.
So we didn't always have money.
Mm-hmm.
My mom is definitely the person that is a rock of her family.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Growing up, my dad's always been sick, from cancer to being a dialysis patient to just it's been a rocky road.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of the strongest people I know. You know, mentally. He doesn't physically look like that, but you know, mentally to endure what he went through, it's blows my mind. You know,
Mm-hmm.
my mom, same thing. She's a healthy person, but I got my entrepreneur spirit from her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's always been the hardest working woman. She's the hardest working woman that I know. You know, yeah, man. Like it's just you know, we didn't grow up with a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
We grew up. You know, I remember going to those cash and go places, cashing our welfare or our food stamps.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just it was I wouldn't. They always went out of their way. You know, I wasn't spoiled. You know, but my parents always went out of their way to give us, my sister and I, what we wanted.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, we were always grateful for it.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, man, it's you know, it was tough, you know, growing up, but we always got what we wanted.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
so you were been in El Monte basically all your life.
Yeah.
Growing up and
Yeah.
stuff. Oh wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about
I'm nervous right now, just FYI.
No, it's all good, man.
Dude,
you should have seen me in the first episode, man. No, it's all good, man. Again, this is just laid back conversation, and I think what one of the beauty of this, and this is what I appreciate about you, by the way, you're very authentic. You know, we're not trying to fake the funk here. Like this is what happens behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? So don't even trip, man. But let's talk about let's just jump right into the car scene, man. So I mean, we're kind of where we met. You know what I mean? So was because I find it unique that the car culture really plays a huge part in someone's like development and personality, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I know you could agree with this. Like, just modding a car is like your own, like, it's like your taste. It's like your personality. Yep. It's like, you know, it's like it's you. Like when you look at something you build or just whatever it is, like it's an image. It's a self-reflection of you, right? Yeah. And how did you think the car culture scene kind of like, I don't know, molded your personality, I guess you could say?
Man, that's a tough question. That's a really tough question. I don't even know how to answer that one. Damn.
I mean, obviously, you've met a lot of people.
Definitely met a lot of people.
Yeah.
Met different types of people. Mm-hmm. You know, in the car scene, there's people who it's weird because you can meet a lot of fake people and some genuine people.
Yeah.
Some of the fake people, and I'm sure you're familiar with it. You have a car, it's cool. When you get rid of your car, they get rid of you. Like you just cut off that friendship. Yeah. I don't know if you ever had that before.
Of course. It's like you're either hot or not, and like that's, you know.
Exactly. And then like in the scene, when you got a sick car, it's like, oh, you're top dog. And you know, I met some really genuine people when they get rid of the cars. Like I still keep it cool with them, still have good friendships with them.
Definitely.
Like you know what I mean? Like we you know, we still vibe off each other, still hit each other up.
Yeah.
I know a lot of guys that like don't even bother because you don't have a car anymore.
Yeah.
You know? And
I know, right?
I got out of the car scene in 2013 or so, or 2012. I just you know, I don't know, I just lost my love for it for some reason.
Yeah.
And it's and then I just all the friendships that I had, some of the friendships that I had, they just like, oh, it's not even they don't even hit me up anymore. I'm like, dude, come on, because I don't have a car.
Yeah, you know? That's kind of crazy.
You
gotta let go of some people you know, leave your life for a reason, right?
Yeah. Some people get stuck in that lifestyle too.
Yeah.
You know, I like to be well-rounded. You know, my priority is not my car anymore.
Of
you
course.
know, it's just a hobby. I love my car. I love modding it and just having fun with it.
Of course.
But it's not my life.
Yeah, of course.
You know, when we're, you know, I don't know, when we were in our early 20s.
Yeah, we were pretty. Yeah,
that was like young. Our life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everything was around the car. Everything we bought was around the car.
Yeah.
You know, paycheck to paycheck, whatever it was for the car.
Yeah.
You know, now it's like, all right, I have money to spare. All right, let's play with the car. It's different for me now.
Yeah,
you know?
Of course.
So.
Like, you have different priorities, and you had to move on because you knew like your car ain't gonna set your life.
Yeah.
Set the tone for the rest of your life, right?
But it's crazy because like the car scene has definitely got me to meet a lot of genuine people that I still keep in touch day to day, all the time. And the thing I love about the car scene is that you can have it can be, you know, that kid from school that, you know, would never talk to anybody to, I don't know, it's anyone from all over the world or any different type of personalities get together, and it's one thing that brings you all together. It's the car scene, you know.
It's like traveling, right? You meet like all these different types of people, different backgrounds, you know what I mean? And it's just like it's like a good community.
Yes.
Huge culture, huge community.
Yes. Yeah. And just you know, the NSX car community is amazing, man. All those guys, like, they're just, I mean, they're all a little older, they're all more mature. It's a different type of car scene. It's a different type of culture, you know. And like, I really enjoy like I've made genuine friends that like are awesome, man, from that car scene.
Yeah. Dude, that's cool, man. Yeah, those were the days, man, right?
Yeah. You can still get back into it.
Yeah, I know, huh? Dude, those were fun, man. I feel like when we used to play around with the cars and mod it and stuff, not only did we kind of again, it was a sense of our identity, but at the same time, it's like we were able to meet new people. Like you said, we had like, you know, we were able to be a part of a community. Yeah. And dude, we were so young, right?
Yep.
We were young, 20, and I'm sure
21, 20.
And dude, during those days, man, I'm sure like that's a phase, right? When we're trying to like just kind of find our identity, kind of find our clique, I guess you could say, and all that stuff, man.
Jerks, Ejay.
yeah, I know, huh? Rest in peace, man. But dude, let's you know what? I want to jump into what I find unique about you, and I told you this back when I met you at your restaurant, was what I found very unique about you was just your personality. I could tell already. There's like I'm a very energy person, right? And I vibe off energy, right? And just you're a genuinely nice guy, right? At the same time, I could tell that you just attract people. Like, people are. You have an infectious personality, and you attract people. You know what I mean? And you could tell that by the way you were in the car scene, and moving on to fitness, when you got into fitness. You know what I mean? So it's I guess it's just very humbling to have like have people like that. You know what I mean? Like, you're just a very, you have a very unique personality. Thank you. That's why I said I was very honored that you're able to come onto this podcast, because I feel like, we just vibe off each other like crazy. But let's talk about your fitness journey, man. Because, man, you have so many, you know what, this guy, Brian, man, this guy's like, he's like Elon Musk or something, you know what I mean? He has like so many, he's been through so many different things, and, it's just, it's crazy, man. But let's talk about the fitness scene. So I think it was 2011, right?
2011. Yeah. So 2011. So let's start with where it all started. Okay. Yeah. In high school, I played football. I was in shape, fast metabolism, eat whatever you want. Like, I had junk food almost every day, but I lifted, played. I was very active. You know, and then in high school, it's hard to gain. I mean, for me, I gained weight, but I was like a good weight. Yeah. It was after high school when I got into college. I had a girlfriend in college. You know how that goes. When you have a girlfriend, all we do is watch movies, go to school, and eat. That's all I did, right? Yeah. And I gained about you have you heard of the freshman 15?
Yeah.
So I gained for like 60 pounds.
Wow.
60 pounds right out of high school. This was on the first year. And
I think I did too, by the way. Yeah, I think all of us go through that. But anyway, yeah.
So throughout college, I was a bigger dude.
Yeah.
And I took a picture of myself, and I was like, something needs to happen. I need to make a change. Yeah. I was just, you could see it in the picture. I don't know if you saw the video, but you could just see in the picture, I was just unhappy.
Of course.
It was all over my face.
Like, enough was enough, right?
And yes, it was just had to go. And so I took that picture, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make a change. I printed the picture out, and I put it on my closet. So every morning that I would wake up, I would see that picture, and it was like, all right, it motivated me to get up and go run and prep my food and do all that. So I had no knowledge, and I was not educated on nutrition. Google. Just Google everything, Googled. And I looked up this dude named Mike Chang. I don't know if you ever heard of him. Six Pack Abs or Six Pack Fitness or something.
Sounds familiar. Yeah.
But this guy made a killing, dude, selling programs on
and that's what's back in the day too.
This
right?
was back in the day.
Yeah.
This 2011, and he was selling programs on YouTube and all that.
Yeah.
So I followed his. I mean, it worked.
Yeah.
I followed his eating regimen. I started running a lot, and pounds just started chopping off. And I chopped about 20 pounds on his program.
Nice.
Right. And then I was like, I need something more. This is like, running's boring. I can't do this,
Yeah.
So I joined Muay Thai.
Okay.
And I trained at Sityatong in Pasadena. And that was like where my dramatic weight loss journey like happened. I lost all my weight there. About, I think total I lost about 60 pounds there.
Wow.
So I actually lost that weight and then got into actually did a fight. It was fun. I loved it. And then I Instagram was that when it started popping. I started seeing more fitness people. Yeah. And I was like, man, I want to look like that.
Yeah.
So I hired a coach.
Okay.
I hired a coach and said, hey, I want to cut down the body fat because I was lean, but I wasn't like chiseled.
Chiseled.
Lean,
yeah.
So I want to look like that.
Yeah.
So I hired this guy, Omar Ventura.
Yeah.
And he gave me a program, cardio, weights, food, everything that I needed to get chiseled.
Yeah.
And it was like a 16-week diet program. I stuck to it to the T. And he was like, hey man, you look good. You want to do a show? I was like, yeah, let's do it. And that's when
rise to the occasion.
Yeah. And
the challenge.
It was right in time, just for summer. And I was like, all right, cool, but yeah, man, like I did the show, and ever since then it's been I've just been very lean, staying healthy, and I don't, no more competing for me. It's just living a healthy lifestyle. That's all for me. And when they say it's a lifestyle, it really is a lifestyle. And having the restaurant also helped me a lot, man, just by eating healthy, instead of going out to eat and all that.
So let me ask you this, because I know you were in insurance for a little bit. So was that your primary job while you were in the fitness?
Yes. So after I graduated college, my senior year of college, I got an internship at a insurance agency. And I was doing the marketing stuff, Facebook. I don't think I did Twitter, but I did their website, just things like that.
Yeah.
And the owner, he was like, hey, if you want to make some real money, you got to jump into sales. Yeah. All right, let's do it.
Of course.
And I kind of just transitioned into doing sales. For a college kid getting out of college, making $15 an hour was like, oh, back in 2010. I was like, oh, it's cool, whatever. And plus commission. Yeah. It's like, all right.
You had to make mean sense. Right? Yeah.
So I took on that job, did it for a year, absolutely hated it. I hated it. Yeah. And the reason why I hated it was because of the boss. You know what I mean? Like he was a great guy, great dude, just not a great boss. And I just didn't like being micromanaged and looked over for everything I did. They were checking on the computers on what I was doing on the computer. It's like, dude, come on, you know? So I couldn't, I was like, I gotta go. I gotta go. So I quit. I was like, I can't do, I just told him I can't do this.
So was that the time? And of course, going back to your mom, having that entrepreneurial spirit, was it from there, like you got into an insurance job and you hated it, that you knew like, oh man, like
no, it wasn't yet. Not yet.
Okay.
Because I continued with insurance after that.
Okay.
So
no, but as far as like the entrepreneurial like route, did you know that like?
Well, I always knew that I was going to be my own boss.
Okay. Good.
Always.
There we go.
I didn't touch base on this earlier, but my mom has always been an entrepreneur growing up. So she, growing up, we had this swap meet in Linwood, California, and it was like an indoor swap meet, and she sold kids clothes, and it was called Brian's Kids Wear.
Oh wow!
And I pretty much grew up at that swap meet because helping my mom. I'm sure you've seen those memes where a little Asian kid is behind the cash register. I don't know if you ever seen
I
it.
think so. Yeah.
I was one of those kids.
Okay.
At 4 years old, 5 years old, 6 years old, you know, doing the cash register.
Just family business.
Family
right?
business,
Yeah.
you know, and I think, you know, and my mom eventually invested into a auto salvage yard with my uncle. And you know, that business is still going on right now, very successful. Yeah, man, I got my drive and entrepreneurship definitely from my mom.
Yeah. That was your uncle's what was it, a
salvage yard? Yeah. Like
did that kind of help tailor to how you got into cars too? Okay,
Yes.
gotcha.
Yes.
See, it's all coming together here.
Yeah.
Cool. So obviously during your fitness journey, you were meal prepping, right? You were
Yes.
meal prepping. You were making your
Yes.
own meals. How did it all start in regards to the meal prep?
Okay, so with the insurance though, let me finish that one.
Yeah.
So the insurance, I stayed there for a year just to have it on my resume, right? So once I stayed that year, I quit, and I was jobless for maybe, I don't know, 2-3 weeks. And I went, you know, looking on Craigslist, looking on everything, you know, and I found this agency, Fulcrum Insurance, which they're still there, and I'm still a partner there. Yeah. And I found these a great group of guys to work with, and you know, the guy Harvey, the senior partner there, he offered me ownership of the company. It was a small percentage, but he offered me ownership for, you know, to do things in return, obviously, for the company. Yeah. And getting paid there was all commission. You know, nice. It was all sales, all commission. It was nice the second year, but not the first year, you know, being commission only, because when you're on commission only, that's your only way of income. That's the only way you eat, you know? So you got to sell, you got to hustle, you got to
bust your ass off.
For sure, man. Like I remember like it was nuts, man. The first year I was like hustle every day, you know? And I did well in that because I linked up with dealerships, and I was their go-to guy for auto insurance, for home insurance, all that. So every time they're trying to close a deal, I would go to the dealership personally and bring my laptop and pull out and just and you know, ring it up right there and just close the transaction. And you know, I was getting 3 or 4 a day from the dealership alone. Yeah. So it was solid, man. And
that's the second year.
This is the first year.
Oh, first year. Okay.
Second year, that's when you get renewals.
Gotcha.
So the way insurance works, it's slow money, but it's good money in the long term because you get your residuals. Okay. So, you know, year after year, I was doing it for 5 years, and you know, these residuals, they rack up. So, hustled hard, man. The first couple of years, like, it was hard. You know, I never stopped though. You know. Yeah. Then I just got tired of it. It's like, dude, this is, I don't know, it was boring. It wasn't fun, you know? Like, I didn't enjoy waking up and going to work, and
kind of like no purpose, no passion driven.
You know, I'm going, I'm just, you know, it just there was no passion in it. Yeah. For sure, no passion in it. But during this time of being in insurance was when I was also on my weight loss journey.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So this is all happening at the same time, doing the meal prepping, doing all that, you know, and I, you know, a lot during, I'm going to get my words twisted right here, but during all this time, that's when I lost all my weight. Okay. And I started meal prepping. I don't even know where I'm getting started right now. I'm sorry, man.
You're good.
I lost all the weight. Okay. And towards the last year of doing insurance, I was like, all right, I'm tired of this. Yeah. And this was when Instagram was like starting to pop off, 2013, 2014. You know, traction was very good. Yeah. It just came out of, it was one of those things that just kind of came to mind. I was like, you know what? Why don't I just meal prep for someone? You know, like just.
No, so did someone ask you?
No.
Or you? Okay, so it was just an idea.
It's just an idea.
Nice. Okay.
And it was literally an overnight thing. I remember being 2, 3, 4 in the morning. Oh, let's put the menu together. This is what I'm gonna do. Blah blah. And then I had my friend making me a logo. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to make an Instagram page and just do it, you know? And I asked one of my buddies, Ray, his name is Rogi Status on Instagram. Yeah. I was like, hey man, like, what do you think about this idea? He's like, dude, that's dope. Let's do it. And, you know, I had him and his previous girlfriend help me out and just kind of like shout me out. And from there, it just kind of took off. It just there wasn't many people doing meal prep.
I was just gonna say it's such a hot market right now, but this is back in 2014, right?
Yeah, 2014, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there wasn't many people doing it.
Yeah.
So it was crazy. Like, he'll make a post. I get a bunch of emails. I didn't even have a website then. All I had was an Instagram page, and that was it, an email. And I would get a bunch of emails. Hey, can I order this? Can I order this? And it was all a learning process, man. It was insane. This was out of my parents' house.
Yeah.
So
you were cooking at your parents' house?
Yes.
Dang.
And it was awesome because in the Asian culture, they don't like to cook inside the house.
Mm-hmm.
So that we had a kitchen built in the back, like outside of the house.
Yeah.
And it was like 2 commercial range walks, like, to cook on the walk.
Yeah.
And they were like powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we did all the cooking in the back.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like commercial grade, so we had that advantage already. I was like, dude, this is perfect.
You're like, heck yeah.
And we're doing that for about a year out of the house, and it was crazy, man. I had a full team there, like a full team, like 10 people packing, because we went from my first order was about 30 meals, and we got up to like 1,000 meals every Sunday. I was only doing it once a week.
Right? And this was still Sunday. In your backyard.
Yes.
Dang.
Once a week, we hit about 1,000 meals a week. It was just insane, man. My nights, it was early mornings to late nights. It was crazy, but it was such a good feeling and rewarding feeling at the end of the day.
Because you just knew, like, you tapped into like a market. Yeah. Perfect timing, right? Before like people really started doing it. And man, it sounds like you had like a lot of orders, right?
Yeah, it was insane, man. I had 3 drivers.
Dang.
And we had about 6 or 7 just packing food, cooking. It was just a long days.
I'm kind of blown away because I didn't know this story, but I knew like you start from home, but I didn't know it was like for a year.
Yeah.
And you had like those thousands of orders. That's insane.
Yeah.
Dang.
So after that year, I was like, you know what? The only way to go to really grow is to go legit. Mm-hmm. I was like, I need a storefront.
Yeah.
And the purpose in the beginning was not to get I was just gonna get like a kitchen just to cook out of and just do meal prep alone. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that was, I really thought about it. I was like, there's no one that has a storefront where you can get meal prep food hot made to order. Everywhere else is like you can go to Flame Broiler, Waba Grill. It's it's different.
This is what makes your business so unique, man. Yeah.
Thank you, man. Yeah. Like I was like, I knew this had to work.
Yeah.
You can't get meal prep food hot.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
I when I go out to eat, I look for options. There isn't, unless it's cold. Yeah. Now they'd have it, but it's cold.
It's cold.
But made to order hot.
Yeah.
No one's doing it.
Yeah.
To this day, I still haven't seen anyone doing it.
Yeah.
So that's what makes us unique, is having a restaurant and doing meal prep and catering and delivery. Like it's a one-stop shop. Where are you at again?
Well, how about I wanted to ask you something. How hard was it? Because you said this was just learning from the ground up. How hard was it? Because I find the restaurant and food business so unique in its own different lane. How hard was it tapping into that?
It was tough, man.
Yeah,
it was so tough. Keep in mind, I had zero restaurant experience, zero food experience. In high school, a lot of kids, they go to they work at a fast food joint or whatever. I had zero experience on that.
Oh man,
none. And I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I'm gonna tell you a story right now too. I actually almost threw in the towel on my first real rush that we had at the store. So it was one of those days. I think this was like the 2nd or 3rd week of opening.
Your first store, which is in El Monte.
Yeah.
El Monte.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had no clue what I was doing, but this is how you learn, though. You make mistakes, you learn. And right now I'm still learning about things. I mean, I've obviously got it down almost to the science now, but I'm still making changes and making tweaks. You're always gonna do that, But the first time I thought about throwing in the towel was when we had all these meal plan orders, right? Due at 12 o'clock. We had a lunch rush, all right? full house at the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Bunch of phone call orders coming in. It was just insane. It was just one of those overwhelming and just mistakes left and right.
Yeah.
You know, I gave out the wrong order. This lady like chewed me out in front of everybody. It was so embarrassing, man. It was so embarrassing.
Yeah.
And that in that moment, I was like, oh God, I can't do this.
Yeah.
And I just calmed myself down. Just really calmed myself down. Went to the back. Just really thought about it. I was like, all right.
You took a second, right?
Yeah, I took a second. You got this.
Yeah.
You know, it's a mental game. It's a mental game.
Definitely.
I was like, you got this. And I just stayed calm and just took it order by order by order. And after that was done, I was like, oh, what a learning experience.
Yeah.
And from that mistake that I made was, what I learned from that mistake was make our pickup times for our meal plans at a later time. You know, and not
Makes
at
sense.
Why have it all picked up at lunch? Because if my kitchen's gonna get overwhelmed, you know, we're gonna get killed. And that's exactly what happened. We got killed.
Yeah.
Huge
learning experience. It sounds like
such a big learning experience. You know, so since then, you know, every mistake that I've made, it's always, you know, I tweak it. It's always a learning curve.
Yeah.
So.
Dang. Well, it sounds like you repurposed all of those mistakes, and moving forward, right? You learn from your mistakes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when did you know? I mean, obviously you went from your backyard.
Yeah.
You open up a storefront, which is amazing, by the way. Again, when did you know, like, wow, my business is for real? It's taking off. I should consider a second location.
After about 6 months.
Wow.
After about 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why my Almani location has worked out so well too,
mm-hmm.
You know, because it's not in the best area. You've been there.
Yeah.
It's just kind of in the ghetto,
mm-hmm.
you know, not the best part of Almani, that's for sure. And the reason why it's worked out so well is because we're the only healthy food restaurant in the whole area.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's Flame Broil and a Waba Grill down the street, but our quality is just, I know it surpasses them.
Mm-hmm.
But I've made relationships with the city, you know, joined the Chamber of Commerce, you know, textbook stuff, and got good, you know, have good relationship with them. The police officers, the firemen, the teachers, you know, the school district, like they all love that place. It's
definitely.
A lunch.
You went community driven.
Yes,
definitely.
You gotta, if you win your city, you can win anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
But that's, you know, it's I don't know why, but I get so into it, and then like I lose my train of thought.
No, it's cool, man. No, because this is, I'm sure you look back and you're just like, man, I can't believe, like, you know, how far you've gone, and like those moments really just, you know, it was life changing, right?
Yeah.
Learning experience,
very life changing, man.
But so again, going back to your second location. Well, so first off, you identified a market, you know, with the whole meal prep thing. No one was doing it, fresh and ready, you know, made to order.
Mm-hmm.
You open up a store, very unique, right? Not a lot of people were doing it. Although there was Waba Grill, Flame Broiler, you knew that your store was very unique. Your business was unique.
Yeah.
You went over the top, and your quality was amazing.
Yeah.
And then 6 months into it, your second store.
Yeah.
What made you decide to go? Well, where's the second store at again?
In Fountain Valley.
Fountain Valley. What made you? So you knew in the 6 months. How hard was it to make that decision? Because I bet, right, opening up another store is like a huge.
It's
decision.
A big investment.
Uh-huh.
Big investment for sure. But I just knew it was gonna work out. It was just in my heart. I was like, it's gonna work out. You know, it's undeniable. You know, it's Orange. It's the second location is in Fountain Valley. It's in Orange County,
mm-hmm.
and there's a gym in the same plaza.
Nice. Okay.
I was like, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
People finish working out, they come by to eat, protein
right
shakes,
whatever
it is. You know, perfect area.
Yeah.
And I just went with it. You know, everything that was store one was making, got invested back into store two, got that up and running, and rest is history. You know, it's been good since. And now I'm like focusing out. If you want to elaborate, I'm gonna jump into it in a bit.
Yeah.
So, but you know, it's been well since.
Yeah.
So
it was one of those things though. Like you made that move and you knew like there's no acceptance of failure on that second store, right?
I knew I wasn't gonna fail.
Like I knew you invested so much already, right?
Yeah. I just know that I won't let it fail.
Yeah.
I will look for ways if business is struggling, I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah.
You know, and with the economy that I have right now, like everything's good, everything's booming. Like there's no. I just knew I wasn't gonna fail. I won't take that for an answer. You know, I've always been a ballsy person when it goes to everything. You know, it's like gambling. You know, you kind of just go big or go home type deal. I've always had that personality or that in me. You know, I don't gamble, by the way, but.
But that's what separates good entrepreneurs versus, you know, unsuccessful entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah.
There's people who still have self-doubt, but you go in there and you got that killer instinct, right?
Yeah.
You're just like, no, this is going to work. It's going to be booming and we're going to be good.
Yeah.
Right?
It comes down to the branding. It comes down to the person too.
Yeah.
You know, I follow a lot of entrepreneurs on Instagram. Is just I like their personality, you know, and I think that's what makes their brand so successful is their personality.
I was just gonna ask, did you have any mentors going into this whole food business?
None.
No.
I feel like there are a lot more available now.
Yeah.
But going into this, I guess I could say my mom.
Yeah.
You know, my mom, taught me a lot of tax stuff. And how to be smart on it and what you can write off and all that, you know, because they don't teach you that in school.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know about incorporating a business. I didn't know any of that, you know, but I did my research. I Googled. Everything was Google.
Self-learning, right?
Yeah, everything was the internet, man. I mean, I wish I had a mentor that can teach me step by step, you know, but then again, that wouldn't make me who I am now. I've always been a self-taught person, you know, so, and if I don't know anything, I'll ask someone or I'll Google it. You know, I have no problems. I have no problems asking someone. I know some people are very prideful. They don't want to ask things because they don't want to, I don't know, be seen a certain way or whatever. I'll ask. If I need to learn something or know something, I will ask. You know.
Well, so speaking of, you know, because you had this killer instinct, you know what I mean? Like, oh, it's gonna make it. It's gonna be successful no matter what. My question is, what is unacceptable to you? What's not negotiable? Because I feel like every growing business, right, it requires a trade-off of some kind, right? And every business is different.
Yeah.
So everything requires a trade-off. What was something that you were not, besides the failure, what was something that you think was unacceptable, like non-negotiable, like no? Like,
yeah, you throw me these questions. That's a hard question. For me, man, failure. It's just, you know, failure was just one thing that I was not going to accept. You know, if I wasn't confident into going into the business, I wouldn't have went for it. You know, I was very confident in the concept, in the branding, and everything, and I just knew I wasn't going to fail, man.
So it wasn't just failure. It sounds like it was lack of confidence was unacceptable, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just going in, just absolutely like annihilating.
You have to have a good mindset, man.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, man. I've had days where it's like, you know, because you know, there's business isn't always booming like everyone thinks it is. You know, it's a restaurant. There's slow times.
Yeah.
You know, especially for us, it's healthy food.
Yeah.
It's the holidays.
Yeah.
November, December, people don't want to eat healthy.
Yeah.
You know, I look for ways to bring in more customers during those times, but business isn't always booming like people think it is.
Yeah.
You know, there's struggles, there's times, and you know, I've had times where like, damn, where is everyone at?
Yeah.
You know, but you know, we have from January to all the way up to October, it's solid all the way through. It's very consistent. You know, so all that time, you know, I prep enough to make sure we have enough, we're good on funds and everything for November and December. You know, so we have a good almost a year to just those 2 months, you know, which goes by just like that. You know, January, boom, business is popping again because you know you got the New Year's resolution. Everyone's trying to get in shape, and
it's like that flood at the gym, right?
So
that's crazy. So so we're on the second store opening. Before we jump into all the new stuff that you're getting into, you know, obviously you had a no no failure mindset. But at the same time, I'm sure you endured some failures, right? What would you say were some of the failures, their biggest failures that you had gone through within those two stores, and what did you learn from it?
One of the biggest failures I would say is having a proper system in place for operations. Um, the store in El Monte wasn't built for what we do. We just made it work.
I see.
Right. So when we went into Fountain Valley, I was like, we're just going to bring that system into Fountain Valley. Not going to happen.
Really? Wow.
Because
okay.
Fountain Valley's kitchen is built for exactly what we do. So I had to change the whole system around to make it work for what we do.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah. So like 2 of the stores have different systems.
Dang.
So
this is what makes this story so much even better. Yeah. Because like you said, like you're like, okay, El Monte, my store here is booming, and then we're gonna model it to this store, but that store is just as successful, but you're doing 2 different operations, right? They're not 2 different operations, but you're doing like a different system.
Yeah, it's a different flow.
Yeah,
it's a different flow. So if we had employees from El Monte go to Fountain Valley or vice versa,
okay,
it's different.
Yeah,
not too crazy different, but the flow is different.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a different operations. Another one I would say is staffing and employees.
Okay,
that is a tricky game right there, man.
I'm interested to know about this because obviously I don't have any employees. I have my dog, who just sits and watches me when I do my thing. But let's talk about that. Let's talk about how important it is with culture in the workplace and how that that fosters the requirement, your employees and what you look for in hiring.
So work culture is the biggest thing. Like
I bet, especially in the restaurant industry,
it's huge
too, right?
It's huge. Every person that I've interviewed, I always tell them, we're a small business. We need to be a family-oriented culture in here.
I like that.
I can't have you guys. I tell them I can't have you guys coming into work hating to work, because this is going to be your second home. If you're not at work, you're at home, and if you're not at home, you're at work. So, I engraved that in their head on the interview. And, for my first year, culture was amazing, man. Because I was in operations, like day and day. I was there for the first year, 6 months to a year. I was there every single day.
And these are 2 stores already still open?
This is one store. This is one store right now. Okay. I'm just, sorry. I'm just jumping around.
No, it's okay.
This is on the first store, right?
Okay.
Culture was amazing, man. I had these great group of kids, and it was just good. We got along, vibe good, and it was just a good culture. Everything was smooth. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Second store, on the other hand, different area, different breed of employees. Everything's just different.
So it's different culture.
Different, yeah. Okay. And I try to put the same culture in. It's just different. It was a lot. That was the most staffing the right employees is very hard for my second store.
Okay.
Now finally, even just speaking now, just finally, it's good now. Like we have a solid culture in there, and like everything's been good. That store is self-sufficient. And just finding the right people is the most important thing into having a good culture, a good work environment, everything. You know, and right now I have a manager in my Fountain Valley store. Dude, she is amazing, man. Like, breaks her back for me, and she's a mom. She works part-time, but she's always there on her days off, checking in to making sure the store's okay. Like, these are the type of people that I need on my team, you know, that really genuinely care about your business. You can hire any kid and they work for you, but once the clock is up, they're out of there. They don't care, you know? So,
like you said too, it's a small business. You're growing, and it sounds like the employees that you have chosen, you want them to grow with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I have so many big plans for this business, man. Huge plans. If I, if my employee Mary or manager Mary, if I could afford to pay her more, I would pay her so much more, 'cause she's well worth it.
Yeah.
But she understands that we're just starting off, and that it's going to be 5 years down the line, it's going to be much bigger than it's going to be a whole different animal, man.
Yeah.
And I'll get into that with you when you ask me about it.
Yeah.
But
Well,
that's
hey, let's do it, man. Well, you know what? I want to ask one more thing because I think this is very important. Just because again, this is just such a inspiring story. We talked about your the two biggest your failures and what you learned from it. What would you say before we start jumping into your future plans with Be Nutritious was the most important part of your journey? You learned from these failures, but what was like the most important part, like in your whole journey leading up to your future moves right now?
Most important part as like to
like in the process, like just the journey itself. Was it just opening up that second store? Was it finally identifying, where your needs were? Like, where do you feel like maybe within that journey that you evolved into this entrepreneur, the Brian Nguyen now?
I would say after my first store.
After your first store.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once before opening up the second store, just a little bit before, when the second store was in construction, I just,
you just knew like something great was happening.
Yes. I just felt it. Yeah.
Energy, man.
It's the biggest thing, and like, I don't know. I work from the heart, man. I mean, I make decisions. Sometimes when a big decision needs to be made, take a step back, really think about it. Yeah. But for the most part, I go my gut feeling or my heart feeling. Like I just do it from the heart, man. Yeah. And that's important. Yeah. But I just knew that I had something big going on with Be Nutritious. Yeah. Like I felt it after the first store. I was like, dude, this is gonna be big.
You knew there was like huge potential, and you were just heading to the right path.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Man, that's crazy. So dude, tell us. I know there's some exciting things going on with Be Nutritious. I know the supplement line and the franchising. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes. Okay. So the past 3 months, I was working on making Be Nutritious franchisable. Okay. And there's a lot of legal work involved and so forth. It's not just I want to franchise my business and you do it. It doesn't work like that. Yeah. So I hired an agency to actually get all the documents in line for me to franchise. Okay. Officially went live about 3 weeks ago.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. We have after I went live on it, I did some Facebook ads. I pushed it on a newsletter and all that stuff. We've got about 15 inquiries right now. One in New Jersey, one in Ohio, and a bunch in California. And as of right now, we're in the next step of the sales process for 2 stores.
Nice.
So one guy wants to open one up in North Hollywood and the other one in Irvine.
Wow.
And
huge markets.
Yeah. And one of the guys, he's even thinking about getting like a multi-unit, meaning buying, 5 to 10 stores or even more, like just a whole section,
That's great, man.
And the reason why I chose the franchise route also,
I was about to ask you,
is because I can grow the business and just keep investing in one store by one store by one store, but every store I open up, it's going to be a gamble. Yeah. Because I have to fork out my own money to open up every single store. Yeah. More stores, it can be more headache. So I chose the franchise route because these are people that are entrepreneurs, but they don't, they just need some type of guidance, I guess, to have something in, because, they have that money, they come in, they like the concept and they open one up, and I'm just there to guide them along the way. So I just feel like that's going to help me really take my brand to the national level. Okay. Versus me being, local and small. And,
so you identified basically the most rational, informed decision of how to scale it.
Yes.
Sounds like.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So I want to see Be Nutritious all over the world. That'd be amazing, But But right now we'll stick to a national level, and I see it 10, 20 years down the line. It's going to be international for sure.
Nice.
I want to dominate America, America first, and see where we go from there.
I want to point out something, and everyone to listen to this right now. What your story is so compelling because, you went, obviously Be Nutritious is very successful. You open 2 storefronts, people know about it. It's impactful. We're talking about healthy food, changing a healthier lifestyle, community driven, right? And now you're going to the franchise level and all these inquiries about, hey, I would love to franchise, I'm interested. It speaks for itself about the quality and the culture and everything you've built, right?
Yeah.
And there's a saying out there that the more value you bring to people, the less you have to sell. You know what I mean? I think this is very important because all these people who are inquiring about this, this potential, business, it's speaking for itself. It's like as if, I don't know, at least to me, I don't know. It sounds like you don't even really have to sell yourself. You're putting yourself out there like, hey, we're franchising. This is what we're about. But to get all these inquiries, and not just in California, across, the nation, it's speaking for itself.
Yeah,
man.
it's very humbling. It's awesome, man. Like it. Sometimes I feel myself not having enough gratitude.
Yeah.
I see your post. I'm like, dude, I gotta really,
yeah.
I gotta have some gratitude and just appreciate everything that I have in life.
Hey, we're learning both from each other.
Yeah, and like I take a step back. I'm like, all right, I have all these inquiries. Like this is a big thing.
Yeah.
This is people are actually. This is not even me like really really promoting it.
Yeah.
I put, I don't know, like $25 ad on Facebook, and that was it. But all these inquiries are from Instagram that just natural organic leads. And I take a step back and I'm really thinking about like, damn, this is badass.
Yeah.
Like these people believe in the concept. They,
like you built something truly special, and it deep down inside in your heart, man. Yeah.
Have you heard that episode where Andy Frisella talks about you feel like a fraud when you first start off? I don't know. You remember that episode?
Imposter syndrome?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, in the beginning, I had like it was just you question your product and your service, and it's weird. It's true though what he says, because when I first started off, like I knew I had a like something that great, like the concept, everything, but I still had a little bit like, damn, I'm a little doubt. It's very little doubt,
Yeah. Everyone has it, I'm sure. Yeah.
But I don't know. And back to the story, I was just, I take a step back and I really think like, dude, I just have to be grateful for everything, and I pray, man.
Yeah.
I pray on my own time. No, it's we're on this. I feel like we all have. We're all destined for something, and I pray and everything's been good for me.
Yeah.
I've been knocked down a few times, but I get right back up and just keep trucking at it, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, like just speaking of that too, like when I say getting knocked down, something I've been dealing with the past 3 weeks now, I had a manager and he was the rock of the Almani store, and he did everything. He did everything at the store, and he got another opportunity and he left. And it was just like my serenity was just gone, man. Everything just got taken away from me, man, because he was taking care of the store, and now I'm back in operations trying to get that team back up there to because that store was so reliant on him for everything. He did everything. Yeah. And without him there, it was like they were running handicap.
Yeah, yeah. So now
I have
the man has to go back and handle.
Yeah. Exactly. So now I'm back in the picture, being in operations, doing some cooking, cleaning toilets, man. Like I'm. Some people think they're too good to clean toilets. I still clean toilets and I think I'm the best toilet cleaner at my store, man. That's for sure, dude.
Let's go.
When I leave that place, it's nice and clean, and no one's gonna care about your business more than you do.
Of course. Okay?
Yeah. But he left. The staff felt like handicapped, and just without him. So I'm back in it. he left me with a few cashiers and a few others. I cleaned house, man.
Mm-hmm.
I cleaned house, meaning I got rid of everybody.
Wow.
And the culture that was in there, because I wasn't in there for the past year and a half in operations. I was in my office for the first 2 hours, and I'll go do other things that I need to be doing.
Yeah.
Not in operations. Now I'm back in operations, and the staff there. You talked about culture. It was just very toxic.
Mm-hmm.
These guys were they love being on their phones. They came into work with any shoes, because in a restaurant environment you have to wear non-slip shoes.
Yeah.
They wear whatever they want. Come in late, not show to work. And this previous manager didn't hold it down. You know what I mean? Didn't delegate. Didn't show any leadership. Like, a great employee, great worker, no leadership skills.
But no leadership though.
And that's huge. If you want to be a manager, or any type of, I don't know, higher, whatever, you have to have leadership.
Leaders create leaders.
Yes. Yeah. That wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when I got back in, I had, when I got back in operations, I had these guys like, hey, this is what you got to do. Just kind of like delegate, give them responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't having it, man. So had to clean house.
Wow.
Got rid of all of them. Got a whole new staff in there now. Only have my cook that's there right now. She has been with me since I was cooking from home.
Wow.
So she's still the OG of Almani.
Yeah.
But every single person from the kitchen to the front of the house, all new staff.
Mm-hmm. Different
culture now. Everything's getting back in line. Starting to get my time back, and just that's why I'm here with you. And I also, my girlfriend's been a big help to this whole process for me too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, culture is huge.
Yeah.
So
just another thing you under your belt now, though, that you learned and experienced.
And now. I'm glad it happened, because there were so many holes in the business that I caught. Like, oh, dude, this is where we're going wrong. This is where we're going wrong. This wasn't clean properly. This is this. I just started picking apart the whole business.
Yeah. And
now, like, everything is up to standard again, the way I want it to be.
Yeah.
And that might have been my fault too, for not giving that guidance to my previous manager.
Yeah.
It could have been, I can be very well at fault,
Yeah, definitely.
But I'm glad things happened the way it did, because it humbled me back again.
And you're taking accountability.
Yeah.
Is what I'm hearing.
And it's like, all right, this is where I need to fix things.
Yeah.
And now things are back in the flow, and like, we're good.
So everything's good now at the store. Nice. So franchising now, making some big moves. Yeah. I see you got the supplement line too. Yes. That's going. Man, dude, this is such an incredible story. I'm so inspired right now.
Thank you, man.
It's just, dude, I'm very proud of you, man. Again, I know we're not like been like the closest relationship as far as friends, but I've been observing you from afar, man. Yeah. And like, again, dude, it's inspiring, man. I know a lot of people will find value in just all this stuff you're talking about, because it's so many different things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm sorry if I'm jumping all over the place. This is my first podcast ever.
Nah, you're good,
so man. So I'm like, I'm warmed up now, but like, that's the way I talk. I just kind of like jump all over the place, and just whatever comes to my mind, I just kind of like speak.
No, it's all good. I'm the same way. Whatever's firing in my head, I'm just like, I could be all over the place too, man. So, man, dude, so we're just about to wrap it up here. My last question for you is, you've been in business for how long now?
3.5 years.
3.5 years. Yeah. Okay.
May of 2015. 2015, that's incorporated, but starting from home, 2014. So about 4 years.
Okay. If the current Brian, the one sitting next to me right now, could go back 3.5 years ago and sit down with that Brian, what would he tell him?
Keep trucking it, man.
Keep trucking it?
Yeah.
I love it.
Because you learn by making mistakes. There's no guideline of how to be an entrepreneur.
I want everybody to listen to this.
All right. There's no guideline of how to be an entrepreneur. You learn by making mistakes. Yeah, having a mentor is awesome. Like, I would have loved to have a mentor. Okay. But it wouldn't have made me who I am today.
Yeah.
And being an entrepreneur, man, it's hard because you're up there by yourself. All these decisions that you make, it's like, am I making the right one? You know, I always gonna say, I'll ask for a second opinion. What bottom line though, it comes down to what decision I make.
Yeah.
You know,
it's ultimately you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've had those down days, man. It's like, damn, like it's hard right now. You know, I think it was just the past maybe 3 weeks ago was when I kind of like doubted myself. Like, damn, this is hard, man. Like they just
well, that was a huge thing that happened.
Yeah, just everything got taken away from me, and now I'm, but yeah, man, like just keep trucking it. It's you learn from making mistakes. That's the biggest thing, dude.
Yeah, don't let the mistakes stop you or just get you down.
Exactly.
Pick yourself up, keep going. You'll learn along the way, and everything's gonna figure out on its own. The universe works weird, right? It works in a way where it's gonna come back and it's gonna reward you eventually.
Yeah. And when I got knocked down a few weeks ago, I was like, damn, this is gonna be hard. This is gonna be hard, you know.
Oh, I bet.
And it's like getting back in shape. You know, I wasn't like I said, I wasn't in operations, and once I got back into operations, my body was just like, damn, I'm tired. I'm tired.
Yeah.
Now, like I'm back in shape. Like I'm in work shape now. You know, I can go back in there and just whip up something real quick. Like, you know, I'm back in it. I'm good. You know,
you tapped into the early Brian, back in the big kind of like the beginning stages of the business, right?
Yes, and it's good though to sometimes it's a good refresher.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, to see what your employees are going through, to see where they can improve on, to see how I can help them. You know, it's just kind of like it worked out for the better, man. Straight up.
It's like you're going back to your roots, and then it's like you're humbling yourself again. Yeah. Man, this is like how it was in the beginning. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And there's no feeling, man, like when business is booming, business is good, it's just so rewarding.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, man, just for anyone that wants to be an entrepreneur, it's always going to be a rocky road. You know, life's not always it's not always glamorous.
Just like how everyone puts it out there.
Exactly. Everyone thinks, oh, entrepreneurs, they got nice cars, blah, blah, blah. It's like, you see all the struggles that we go through, all the shit that we go through. It's we don't expose it out there, but there's a lot of hard times, man.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you something. You know, when I started when I opened up the second store, I had $1,200 in my bank account. 2 stores. And this is me having to do payroll, do everything else, because build out cost of the second store costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I emptied all my funds for that, you know. And I was scared, man. I was shitting bricks. I was like, how am I gonna pay? How am I gonna, you know, I was scared, man.
How are you gonna live?
$100 in the bank account. That's nothing.
Yeah.
That's nothing.
Nowadays, this time
to have 20 employees, rent to pay, food costs, everything. You know, I was like, fuck, I got $1,200.
Yeah.
What the fuck am I gonna do?
Yeah.
And my emergency was, you know, I'll ask family. That was if I needed money to back me up.
Yeah.
And I prayed, man. You know, like just you know, just truck it through.
Yeah.
And business just boomed.
Yeah.
And I was able to cover everything, and
now I
grinded it out, and it's been solid since, man. You know, I have business is good, and everything that I'm making, it's getting reinvested back into the business.
That's great.
So, you know, I've downgraded my lifestyle a little bit by cutting costs on all the nice stuff, and you know, and just putting it back into the business. That's everything I'm making is back into the business right now. The whole franchising, the supplement line, everything. It's just
they're still growing.
Yeah. Just setting myself up for the future.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously I want the nice things, you know, I love cars, man. That's my thing. Like
that's not going to go away.
That's not going to go away, you know? But everything that I'm making right now is getting put back into the business.
Nice, man.
And setting myself up for the future. That's it, you know? And one of the things that is on my list is to retire my mom in the next 2 years. Hardest working woman I that's my goal, is to retire her. I've seen other people do it. Like, that's just very motivating.
Yeah.
That's my next thing, man. I got to retire my mom. That's on the list.
You could do it, man. I believe in it so much, man. Dude, well, I thank you so much, man. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity for doing this this episode with you, man. Such an inspiring story. Did I not tell you? I was so excited about this episode, man. I knew your story would just be so impactful. I'm fired up right now, man. I'm super inspired. One last thing, let everyone know where they could find you, if they could reach out to you if they had any questions or just anything like that. Where can they find you?
You guys can find me, Brian at benutritiousmeals.com. That is my email. If you guys want to find me on Instagram, it's at Boyen, Boyen 168.
All right. Dude, thank you so much, guys. Episode 2 is now wrapped up. Man, such a powerful episode. You guys, if you find value in this, please do me a favor and share it with somebody. If you are watching, please follow and subscribe. If you're listening, please also, if you could leave a rating and just subscribe and follow, I appreciate you guys. For those of you who are just listening, my tradition is for all my guests, we're sitting down here on 2 chairs, and I have a canvas behind me. It's the parable sign. It's a canvas, and all my guests, I will have them sign it, because when I look at it, it'll humble me, of course, for everything that was created here, and also because I like to look at it as my vision board, as Brian has inspired me, and I hope he's inspired you. Episode 2, we're out.